Okay, so let's start. First, forget about the looks, because experience is what matters. And yes, we are talking about your brand. Usually, during and especially after we design a brand logo, we start discussing about the brand look and feel. Here I will go a bit further and try to explain why look and feel is turning more and more into experience and feel. You might wonder what is so special about experience and why, so let's start in the past century. We can start back in the 1990s and feel free to say what was considered consumption then is a way of life now. From those decision-making active buyers, we have turned into quite selfish buyers that spend their days in a quest for things that fit our individual perceptions of well-being and pleasant way of life best. According to that, most successful brands today are those that manage to deliver that feelings and emotions of well-being to us. Emotions and feelings are a crucial part for any brand experience. So, how does a brand deliver emotions? Easy, through our senses. We comprehend everything around us through our senses. They are directly linked to the limbic part of the brain that is responsible for our memories, feelings, pleasures, and emotions. From the day we were born, we used our eyes, ears, nose, our senses of taste and touch to learn about things. We learn through experience, and that information is the starting point for every branding strategy that wants to focus on senses. That branding is called sensory branding, and it lies on the premise that if a brand provides all of our senses with certain stimulus, we will experience our brand more profoundly and connect with it on a deeper emotional level. Therefore, a strong brand-customer relationship will be built. So, what now, you might wonder? Let's stop for a minute and take a look at the connection between brands and senses until now. Ever since advertising was born, it was oriented on our sight, mainly because that sense is most responsive to the environment. 92.6% of the population, according to research, puts most importance on visual factors such as color and shape when buying products. Sense of touch was second most important with 5.6%, while hearing and smell each drew 0.9%. We make our first impressions within 90 seconds of the initial viewing, and between 62 and 90% of that impression is based on color alone. When talking about brands, according to research, color increases brand recognition for 80%, while ads in color are supposedly read 42% more than the same ads in black and white. Market researchers have also determined that color affects shopping habits. Impulse shoppers respond best to red, orange, black, and royal blue. Traditionalists respond to pastels, pink, rose, sky blue, while shoppers who plan and stick to budgets respond best to pink, teal, light blue, and navy. With our sight, we notice and recognize shapes and colors really fast, but we cannot experience a brand only by looking at it, at least not at its full potential. That is why sensory branding involves all of our senses. You don't want your brand to be just noticed, you want it to be experienced and remembered. So, let's talk about hearing, which was very popular back in the days when TV and radio jingles rocked the world. Humans could hear before they could see. Human beings are naturally sensitive to sounds and their meanings. First sound we ever heard was our mother's heartbeat. What is so great about sound is that it doesn't need our full attention to be noticed, and also it has been proven that it can evoke certain memories and experiences. When music slower than rhythm of a heartbeat is played in restaurants, we can eat slower and of course eat more. The revenue from the slot machines in Las Vegas fell by 24% when the whirring and tinkling sounds were removed. A new branch that relates only to sensory branding through sound is called audio branding. Sound designers are developing audio identities for your brand, and that involves audio logo, brand theme, soundscape, and brand voice. A great example are sounds of steady heartbeat, a piano, and a breath that were chosen as most convenient for Audi audio branding. In the close future, you might even think of Audi when you hear a heartbeat. Mercedes-Benz formed a team to get the most appealing sound for a closing car door. Ford digitized the Bullitt movie soundtrack and tuned the Mustang's exhaust system to precisely match that of the sound of the iconic McQueen's machine, '68 Mustang, as heard in the film. Now, let's talk about our sense of smell. One drop of perfume is enough to be noticed in a three-room apartment. 75% of our emotions is generated by what we smell, and 80% of what we taste is actually due to our sense of smell. Humans are able to distinguish over 10,000 different odor molecules that are being transmitted to our olfactory system in the brain, where it is closely tied to memory, mood, stress, and concentration. Our sense of smell has been proven as most impressionable and responsive of our five senses, while it invokes memories and appeals directly to feelings without being filtered and analyzed by the brain, as our other senses work. Smell was used a lot in real estate business. Somehow houses sold better if they smelled like vanilla, fresh-baked cookies, or popcorn. In a Las Vegas casino, the amount of money gambled in a slot machine increased by over 45% when the site was odorized with a pleasant aroma. Through combining the smell of mahogany wood, motor oil, and leather, Rolls-Royce recreated the unique smell of the 1965 Silver Cloud Rolls-Royce interior. Now every Rolls-Royce leaving the factory is equipped with a diffuser in the underside of the car seat to convey this unique scented identity. Starbucks is one of the companies that is well aware of the power of sensory branding. Through their characteristic cozy interiors, nice baristas, and of course the smell and taste of fresh coffee, they occupy all of our senses. They even stopped serving breakfast because the smell of the eggs interfered with the smell of the fresh grinded coffee. Hungry? People can sense five basic tastes: bitter, sweet, sour, salty, and umami, which comes from a Japanese word that means savory or meaty. For all other flavor tastes, we must thank to our sense of smell, for that is the one that gives flavor to our food. Taste is the sense that fuses all different senses together to create a holistic brand experience, but is also linked to emotional states, so it can alter mood and brand perception. Most famous campaign that included taste was a campaign made for Skoda Fabia in 2007 in London, and it costed a lot more than a real car. They wanted to advertise it as tasty, so they decided to bake a life-size cake that looked like Skoda. They hired the UK's best chocolatiers, bakers, and bricklayers to construct and bake the car and film the whole process. In the first week of the campaign, the visits to car dealerships went up by 160% according to Skoda. And now, what about touch? Our skin has more than 4 million sensory receptors that can be easily manipulated through materials, weight, softness, and comfort of the product. The word haptics comes from the Greek word haptikos, that means I touch, and today is mostly considered as a tactile feedback technology, which takes advantage of the sense of touch by applying forces, vibrations, or motions to the user. We can see example of that in user interface design and product design. However, haptics does play a great role when it comes to packaging design. Imagine your Orangina in a square-like bottle. Somehow it doesn't seem right. Packaging, and by that I mean form, material, size, weight, can give a huge impact on our brand awareness. Just remember that feeling when you touched some sleek business card for the first time, or sat on a leather couch waiting for an appointment. It is a perfect tool for getting close to consumers' unconsciousness, their perceptions, feelings, and tastes. Some great examples can be found in the works of conceptual designers and architects. These are the examples of fruit juices packaging prototypes, and also one preview of a plate coaster that looks like a leaf. In the end, I wanted to show some examples of very successful brands that use sensory branding to the fullest. What is common to all of them is that through using our senses, they wanted to entertain us, provide us with that luxurious feeling that everything that surrounds us, architecture, sounds, colors, food, service, is here because of us. When we meet these brands, we almost constantly feel connected to them and don't really feel like leaving them. These brands make us feel privileged, and we like that. Our senses love it. First example is Singapore Airlines. Back in the days, they wanted to brand themselves as an entertainment company, and they implemented a completely new set of branding tools. Only the finest silken colors were chosen for the staff uniform, as well as the makeup for the flight attendants. Today widely known as Singapore Girls, their flight attendants had to be representative of the Asian beauty archetype. The Singapore girl became so iconic that it was implemented in Madame Tussauds Museum in London back in 1994 as the first commercial figure ever. Still, that wasn't enough, so the company had itself designed a signature scent. This olfactory signature was used by the crew, blended into the hot towels served to passengers, and it soon permeated the entire fleet of planes. Described as smooth, exotic, and feminine, it was the perfect reflection of the brand and achieved instant recognition. Soon it became a unique and distinctive trademark of Singapore Airlines. Another example is Starwood Hotels and Resorts chain. Westin Me Hotels and Le Méridien are one of the hotels we will be talking about. Westin hotels are widely known for their carefully decorated interiors, lighting, botanicals, sounds, whose main goal is to relax us. They even have a special fragrance of white tea that spreads through the hotel lobby, rooms, towels, and linen, and yes, you can buy it. For their smoking-free hotels and resorts, they even hired famous jewelry designer to create a talisman necklace to give a tangible experience to women that quit smoking. The hotel is known as Design Hotel, and besides strictly defined colors, lighting, and music that differ from room to room, from city to city, it even has a specific brand language and offers guests a guide to the terms it uses to describe seemingly ordinary things like the pool, wet, restrooms, WC, and elevator, lift. Apart from great design, they also promote high-quality music, DJs, and organize events aiming towards younger population. Le Méridien Hotel branded itself as a hotel that promotes culture of the country, city it is situated in. From the point you enter the lobby of Le Méridien in India, for example, the first thing you smell is a peculiar scent of old books and parchment in a library. As the customer steps into the lift, specially designed music starts to play. It is a 24-hour soundtrack, composed in a collaboration with 20 musicians around the globe. Every room has a specific interior, and as you are about to enter the room, you receive a customized key card. Each card contains different work of art specific for that country, town. Helm Bank is the first multisensory bank ever. It is situated in Colombia and went through a complete sensory branding process. Color, imagery, texture, and form were used to create an appropriate sense of tactile quality, comfort, and warmth. Soundscapes were developed to subconsciously affect customer behavior. Low-density, low-tempo, natural and synthesized sound was utilized to create comfort and encourage browsing. Higher tempo sound was used to encourage speed and movement in transient zones. Signature fragrances were created and deployed through the air conditioning system. In addition, Helm-branded confectionery and water were developed to encourage staff engagement with customers. Now that we've seen some great examples of incorporated sensory branding, we must also be aware that things can also go wrong. People might not like the perfume some brand launched. Same goes with music and taste. But imagine the effect if they did like it. Sure, there are pros and cons to sensory branding, but that is the beauty of branding business overall. You never know if your brand will stand out in the market or simply disappear. Important things are to be aware that your senses are the ones that are deciding for you when it comes to choosing your favorite brand. So next time, when you start working on your next brand, simply ask yourself these simple questions. What is the shape, color of my brand? How does my brand sound like? Is it loud, quiet, or perhaps silent? How does it taste? Is it vanilla flavored, spicy, or salty? How does it smell? Is it powerful, relaxing, feminine, or masculine? And in the end, how does it feel under your fingertips? Is it sleek, tender, rough, or hairy? Next time, let your senses lead the way of your brand experience. And if you want to learn more, check out these links. Thank you.